Well, today, the creepy porn lawyer is best known for getting arrested for smacking women, for shaking down big companies, for stealing millions from his own disabled clients. Back in the good old days, and it seems like an eternity ago, but it was really just less than a year, he was a different person entirely. He was CNN's star guest. CNN let him come on all the time, as much as he wanted, 65 times in less than 2 months. Officially, he was just a creepy lawyer for a troubled woman he turned out to be taking advantage of. But CNN made him much more than that. They made him into a Russia expert. True. Watch.
It's ridiculous, Chris, as to why the president would not want to get to the bottom of the Russian collusion situation unless he knows he's guilty. Or how do you think he's going to handle someone like myself or Bob Mueller asking questions? It would be an absolute disaster for him, and he knows it. Donald Trump does not want to sit down and have to answer any questions under oath. And if I was in his shoes, I probably wouldn't want to do that either in light of the facts and the evidence.
I think that this shows that the president has significant potential criminal liability for felonies associated with campaign finance violations, as well as potential money laundering violations. Mr. Trump will not serve out his term. No way, no how. He will be forced to ultimately resign. Why am I on CNN so much, and why are you giving him so much airtime? Well, guess what? This is why.
Because he knows a lot about Russia and campaign finance reform. And no one ever said, wait a second, son, you don't know anything about Russia or campaign finance reform. And by the way, you're stealing millions from some guy in a wheelchair who got a settlement that you're taking from him without his knowledge. No one ever said anything like that because he was saying exactly what they wanted him to say. So they let him say anything. And he did. And they never told their viewers that really you should not take this guy's word as valuable on subjects he clearly knows nothing about. So from the point of view of normal people, CPL was an obvious fraud from day one. But in the end, his behavior was less shameful than that of ordinary reporters on CNN because they have inherent credibility. And for years, they built up a fantasy world for their viewers, letting them believe that impeachment and indictments and a treason conviction were almost here, just around the corner for the big orange tyrant. They gave each other Pulitzers and other fake prizes, honoring their commitment to the First Amendment, even as they made other people who didn't agree with them shut up, take that man off the internet. Oh, thank you for my First Amendment prize. They're so corrupt. Now, the Mueller report has, among other things, exposed their work for the travesty at what it was. And their response to it? No. Nothing to see here. CNN's quite pleased with itself.
The other thing this report did is that it really corroborated a lot of the good journalism that was done. And when you go back and you look at this report and you're like, all these stories that were fake news, well, Mueller shows that this was actually going on.
This report already is the connective tissue that explains everything we've been reporting over the past 2 years.
Time and again in this Mueller report, reporting from major news outlets is confirmed in this Mueller report as being accurate time and again.
Yeah, a little defensive, but for good reason. Joe Concha writes about Media for the Hill, and he joins us tonight. So, Joe, if you got a call tonight from Jeff Zucker saying, hey, Joe, I want you to go on air right now and deny that the sun will come up tomorrow. Wouldn't you say, it's going to hurt my credibility to do that? I mean, I want to do your bidding, Mr. Zucker, but I can't say every dumb thing you tell me to say because no one will believe me anymore. Why does nobody do that?
I think I'd say I have an Easter egg hunt that I really have to get to, Tucker.
Right? Sorry, just can't.
If that were to happen. Yeah, look, Pulitzers were won, as you said, right? And the Pulitzer board described the reporting this way. And this is Pulitzer's reporting around Russia collusion, okay? Deeply sourced, relentlessly reported coverage in the public interest that dramatically furthered the nation's understanding of Russian interference in the 2016 election and its connections to the Trump campaign, the president's-elect transition team, and his eventual administration. Pulitzers for what the Mueller report said. And remember, Robert Mueller is sainted. We have to believe everything that is in that report. We were told that for 2 years. There is no collusion in there. Therefore, these prizes are null and void.
But the fact that nobody is saying that, so you'd think long term even CNN, and they're kind of day traders about this stuff, they just think in the moment, but like some smart person would say, wait a second, we're devaluing our own currency so completely that nobody's going to watch us anymore or read our papers or care about a Pulitzer or Pulitzer. Nobody's going to even care how it's pronounced if we don't act with some integrity and correct our own mistakes. Is nobody saying that?
Nobody is saying that, Tucker, because there's a 2020 election that will serve as a lifeline here to bring people back to watch the news. If we didn't have an election, then this would be like the 2008 financial crisis. Everything would go off a cliff in terms of ratings, in terms of clicks, and we're already seeing it at CNN. Just yesterday, when the Mueller report drops, 2 years, all of that highly anticipated talk around what's going to be in that report, and they couldn't even average 1.2 million viewers. That is so hard to do. It was nearly a third of what this network got, for instance. Not to tout, Fox's horn, because, yeah, you should be getting viewership like that. But on a day like that, where so little people relatively are tuning in, that tells you something. And by the way, when I saw those clips you just played where they said, all those reporters there, whether it was Acosta or anybody else, saying that the reporting was proven out. You explained to me how the BuzzFeed story, Tucker, that Michael Cohen was ordered to lie to Congress by President Trump, was that proven out? I'm curious. And has Ben Smith from BuzzFeed apologized for that report that the Mueller report has now completely and totally debunked? No, of course not. And that's the whole problem here in the end, Tucker. Contrition and the complete lack of it for all the things that were wrong. Let's face it, what the whole ballgame was. It was collusion between Trump and Russia. And that was the reporting, the primary part of it, and that's what everybody got wrong. Forget about everything else. That was the whole ballgame.
That's totally right. Michael Cohen went to Prague. And when it turned out he didn't, you know what McClatchy said today? Well, his phone was cited there. Look. Anyway, Joe, great to see you.
Happy Easter.
Tonight. Happy Easter to you on a happy note. Exactly. Happy Easter. Thank you.